Is it true there's civil war on the surface,
I hope
too?
the Assembly picks a king soon.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
Nothing I say is provably false.
It's been a while since we saw Grey Warden. I bet they're avoiding Orzammar because of all the trouble.
Only Lord Harrowmont is fit to be king.
Welcome to Lord Harrowmont's estate.
These are the personal apartments of High General Lord Harrowmont. No visitors are allowed at this time.
I finished.
House Harrowmont is honored to have you here.
Greetings, Grey Warden.
What now? It's done.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Balin today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties. You're asking the King of Orzammar to send armies to the surface, but Orzammar has no king and we have no army. Right now, the men who should be fighting Darkspawn are brawling in the street. If this situation is not resolved, we face civil war. If you want Lord Harrowmont's time now, you'll have to prove you have no intention of turning against him later. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deschers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. The proving is a contest of the best warriors in Orzammar. By fighting, they show who has the ancestors' favor. If you were to enter the proving as Lord Harrowmont's champion, it would prove your loyalty beyond a doubt. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Then I'm afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrowmont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrowmont could certainly use you on his side.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory. This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Lord Balin's it. The public has a right to know.
So, how is it the dwarves have a king? I thought they voted on everything, or something like that. Greetings, greetings.
You idiot! This isn't the vault. We have to get out of here.
Great. No wonder to stop for lunch,
Witnesses,
too.
get them!
I am done with that one.
What's going on? By the ancestors.
Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
Hey. Can I get you a ladder so you can get up and move back?
All right, that's it.
Too much. Die already! I need healing! You forced our hand! The pain! It overcomes me! Run while you can!
Die. Yes.
Of course. I can't do that.
Let us go.
Can't do that. Of course. Just like you wanted.
It's good to see the Grey
Greetings.
Wardens know the rightful king in Orzammar.
No one enters the prince's estate
Greetings.
without an
Greetings.
invitation.
The prince values your support.
I can't do that.
No, I don't think so.
Is it true there's civil war on the surface, too?
You're wise to support the rightful king.
The prince values your support.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring? Then I will see you again when you give your concession speech, for I have nothing to discuss with Harriman's puppets. Unless you're here for a better offer. I heard of the troops you seek. Do you wish a new alliance? Well, given your relationship with his rival, I don't see why the prince should offer you anything. Perhaps you could prove to Prince Balin your intentions are just. If you show you owe Harrimont no fealty, I'm sure Balin would help you. Harrimont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrimont's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harrimont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrimont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrimont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at tapsters in the Commons. And just to be clear, all deals are off if you fight that proving for Harrimont. Ward, I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good... Ah, ancient documents indeed. These were signed in the reign of Eithnar Bimo, Paragon and King. That was 16 generations ago. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. You must understand, Harrimont hides behind his good reputation while sending spies and assassins. Balin can't know who to trust. It's been like a knife in the heart for Balin to see so many of his father's men stand with the usurper. That hurts worst of all. That Harrimont would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Balin cannot trust the word of a stranger, however reputable that stranger might be. Harrimont has engaged in a campaign of bribe, but if I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his I have copies of the promissory notes. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the gate guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
I can't do that.
Can't do that.
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture. Do not tarry. The proving...
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dusttown. They couldn't know the value. Disgusting. Someone stole from the Shaperate. Yes, that's the attitude.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Ortan Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Ortan, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Ortan, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Shaperate guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad. These are Harrowmont lands promised here. But these are not the deals we approved at the Shaperate. Where did you get these? If you wish, you can make your words as false as the documents you bear. Not entirely. There were 2 promised deals, but their terms differed significantly from what is presented here. It appears the scripter altered the dates and locations of the agreements to make them identical. The Gavorn family is a minor one, founded when a daughter of the Ferender house married down to a warrior caste man. Her brother died, leaving her family heirless. So the Assembly granted him a new family name and allowed him to adopt his daughter's children as heirs. Vartag Gavorn is on record asking the Assembly to bar Harrowmont from King Endrin's sick room. He is a vocal supporter of Prince Balin. The prince consulted me before his father died. He wanted to know about King Bimo, the last king to rule during a blight. I told him Bimo made many changes during his rule. The Assembly was even disbanded for a 2-year period. Bimo declared that, in times of war, the warrior caste answered directly to the king, and all voting was suspended. Balin seemed quite interested. The Shaperate do not vote. We simply record history as it happens. I cannot speak my opinions. History can be changed. I am the man to ask if you wish to access the memory. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city. I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? He seems a charitable man, but that is a thin thread on which to tie Orzammar's traditions. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more? We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn. The Paragon Caridon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. At the other side of the old empire, during the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. I will settle your mind if I can, Warden. All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to Paragon. A Paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name. Branka is a Paragon, now and into death. She was born a smith, but it could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her Paragon status. According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. Shotgyar founded the artisans. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons. The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. Their births are not recorded in the memory. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss? Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Just like you wanted.
Well, have you found Lady Dace and Lord Helmy? Forged? Well, naturally they're forged. There is no legal way for Harrowmont to sell the same land twice over, is there? You want to know how the game is played? I wrote the papers and left a sizable fee with the registry office to back them. But if you think figuring it out gets you off the line, you don't understand how this works. I'm asking for a show of loyalty, so exactly how much truth is involved shouldn't matter in the slightest. Now, where does your allegiance lie, Warden? Good. Now prove it, and don't come back again until you do.
News of the hour. 2 more clans endorsed Lord Balin as...
What do you want? Ah, I suppose you're the Grey Warden everyone's talking about. It's fascinating the surface has an entire order dedicated to fighting Darkspawn. Down here, that's just what fighting means. But I'm sure it's more difficult on the surface. It must be much harder to find them. Well, this isn't exactly a surface broadsheet. Where did you get these? Never mind. It is true enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. This deal was made on behalf of our entire house. Only my father can revoke it. He is leading a Deep Roads expedition, trying to secure an ancient Taig. It's unlikely he'll be back before the election, but perhaps this vote is important enough for you to brave the tunnels to tell him? The Dace family would be in your debt. He was searching an old Idukan site. He left me with this map, in case his expedition never returned. I'll give you a pass as well. Usually, no one is allowed past the front lines. Does that mean you'll go? So Balin's victory means enough for you to risk your life. How interesting.
Questions arise regarding Lord Balin's impending marriage to a castless commoner.
It'll be 2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Oghren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.